Laurie's emotional monologue in the White Lotus Season 3 finale finally leads her to reconnect with her old friends Jaclyn and Kate. After several ups and downs throughout the White Lotus Season 3, the ongoing catty feud between Jaclyn, Kate, and Laurie made their collective storyline one of the most entertaining of the season. Even though they did not have much of an impact in the White Lotus Season 3 finale, their frenemies dynamic fueled much of the action in the season's middle episodes. Laurie had a difficult time getting over the fact that Jaclyn slept with Valentin, which could have broken their friendship beyond repair. At the beginning of the White Lotus Season 3 finale, Jaclyn apologizes to Laurie about Valentin after Laurie has a wild night with Alexei. Interestingly, Laurie never mentions all the jewelry she discovered in Alexei's apartment but does eventually forgive Jaclyn. Ever since the first episode of the White Lotus Season 3, Laurie has been the subject of some private and critical conversations, particularly about her ex-husband, the end of her career, her daughter, and her drinking problem. Laurie eventually dishes it back and plays the rotating game of gossip. In the end, it is Laurie's vulnerability that reunites the Victory Tour trio. Laurie's monologue about friendship, time and her life's meaning explained. Laurie hasn't had luck with belief systems but knows the value of time. Laurie getting emotional in the White Lotus Season 3 finale. Laurie really lets loose in the latter half of the White Lotus Season 3 after feeling dejected by Jaclyn sleeping with Valentin. Laurie's wild night with Alexei is fueled by her aggression toward Jaclyn, but it really exemplifies how upset she is existentially, apart from the vacation drama. Laurie has been direct before in the White Lotus Season 3 when she called out Jaclyn about Valentin. In the White Lotus Season 3 finale, Laurie aims her blunt approach at herself, revealing that it's been hard for her to see Kate and Jaclyn being wealthy and beautiful while she doesn't feel like either of those things. Laurie is quite introspective, which is likely part of the reason why she is so hard on herself. Her confessional message about trying and failing at societal religions like careers and falling in love is profound and painful for Jaclyn and Kate to hear, especially after they both agree that they're in excellent places in life. Laurie's hardships have jaded her and made her bitter in some ways, whereas Kate and Jaclyn are glowing with positive energy. Laurie finds resolve in a newfound understanding that the only thing that gives meaning to things is time. The fact that she and her childhood friends still get together is all the meaning she needs. Why Laurie makes amends with Jaclyn and Kate in the White Lotus Season 3's ending. Laurie wants Jaclyn and Kate to be real friends, not just old friends. Carrie Coon as Laurie wearing a robe and looking over a balcony in the White Lotus Season 3 Episode 8. Laurie's monologue at her last dinner with Jaclyn and Kate was her attempt to be true friends, not just old friends, with them both. Sick of pretending that everything is great all the time, Laurie's confessional statements about her hardships and failures prove that she needs real friends not based on a toxic, competitive, and catty dynamic. It's easy for Jaclyn and Kate to reside in superficial conversation and forced positivity, but Laurie has really been struggling for some time before the White Lotus vacation and is asking for support. Thankfully, Jaclyn and Kate have it in their hearts not to judge Laurie for her shortcomings. Laurie makes it clear that she values every second of her time with Jaclyn and Kate, even when it seemed like she didn't. She alludes to acting out in response to her comparisons and insecurities, which Jaclyn and Kate both honor as valid and genuine. Laurie tries to turn her jealousy into gratitude, which is why she tells Jaclyn she's glad she has a beautiful face and Kate that she has a beautiful life. Laurie feels like she doesn't have these things, which is why she's happy to be at the table with them. The rawness of Laurie's emotional statement cuts straight through Jaclyn and Kate's outer layers, allowing them to all say, "I love you," to each other. How the White Lotus Thailand trip made Laurie, Jaclyn and Kate's friendship stronger. The Victory Tour trio broke out of their toxic and gossip-filled dynamic. It appears that Laurie, Kate, and Jaclyn's friendship may not survive the Thailand vacation. Even after Jaclyn and Laurie touched base that morning, it was truly Laurie's monologue at dinner that allowed them all to speak on a deeper level. They regained a connection that they likely hadn't accessed since they were kids and maybe had never vocalized so directly before. All three of them end up accepting their friendships and roles in their lives for what it is, messy or not, because they love each other. Even though they've done it separately, they've built these lives together and from the same starting point in the White Lotus Season 3.